Hello, I am David W. Parker. This is Programming Today I Learned. This is going to be a new series for absolute beginners. So if you've never created a singular website or done anything before, this is going to be the series for you. In this episode, we're going to cover what a text editor is, and we're going to go ahead and download one. Then we're going to go ahead and build our first HTML page. If you would like stuff like this, go ahead and subscribe on my Patreon and subscribe to my newsletter as well, and I'll be sending these episodes out. All right, let's take a look. So this is what we're going to build today. It just says, this is my first web page, and that's all it is. So how do you get there from nothing? Well, the first thing you need to know is you need to download or use a text editor. Now you might be thinking I have Microsoft Word or something like that, but that's going to go ahead and edit Word documents. And the difference between a text editor is that it's just plain text, meaning you can't make things bold, you can't highlight things, you can't change background colors or sizes. It's all just simple text. And what that text does is that is able to be rendered in a .html file, and then a web browser can take that .html file and render it out. So let's go ahead and see what we have. So I'm on code.visualstudio.com, and you can download this. This is free and open source. Open source means that you can look at the source code, so other coders have created this and made it free for people. And it's currently in development by Microsoft, so you know it's supported. And it supports every platform. So whether you're on Linux or Windows or OS X, you can go ahead and get it. It has a bunch of extensions and things that you could do to make it even better or extend it in your way. We'll get into those in another time, but go ahead and download a text editor if you don't have one already. I highly recommend Visual Studio Code for your first one, as it's free and easy to use. So I have Visual Studio open here, and if you go open a new window, you'll have something like this show up. And of course, you won't have reset yet, so you can just go ahead and do new file, and we'll say blah. And if you go to save it, you'll want to save it somewhere, and it says .txt here, but you can go ahead and save any type of file that you want. So this could be like blah.html. So I have this HTML file here. And then if I right click, and then I go to, you see a reveal in Finder, here's File Explorer, and I can go ahead and copy the path. Now go over back to Chrome or whatever browser you're in and paste that into the URL bar. And there it is. Boom, you have your first little site. Now, this is not a very complete HTML document. And so let's go explore a little bit more of what we're hoping to provide and build here. So the first thing to know is, what is HTML? HTML is hypertext markup language, and it is the document designed to display in a web browser. And then you can go ahead and make it interactive with JavaScript, which we'll learn later, and CSS, or cascading style sheets, styling. So this is where you make it look bold or large or small. This is how you do layout. And it was created, see, in 1993, so it's 28 years old. It's been around for quite a while. Sir Tim Berners-Lee was the creator of it, and you can read about the history on Wikipedia. That'll be in my show notes. And the first thing you want to do in your HTML is you want to declare a doctype. So W3C, or W3.org, is the world consortium, I believe, for the web. So www, W3C. And they have a bunch of different backing companies who are the people in charge of basically making the standards for the internet. So the first thing you want to do is declare a doctype. And this is the most simple one. So it starts with angle bracket, and then an exclamation, and then doctype, and then HTML, and then close angle bracket. And you'll find that angle brackets are used to determine what HTML tags are throughout our system. If you begin a line with angle bracket, exclamation, dash, dash, it's a comment, meaning the browser is not going to render it to the user, but if you look at the source, you can see it there. And then you end the comment with dash, dash, close angle bracket. So these are comments, and a doctype is a way to communicate and let the browser know how to render display a given document. So this is the most common one you'll see on pretty much every website. So we have our document here, and you could see here's our comments, and those aren't being rendered out. Only this is what my first web page is. The next thing we want to do is declare that we're making an HTML tag. So a website is made up, or an HTML document is made up of HTML tags. And any given tag, for the most part, is going to start with some kind of angle bracket, and you could see a lot of different tags show up here automatically in VS Code. And then you close it, and then you can put some text in here. So I'm going to move this down, and you can kind of see. And then if I refresh this, there's that text with the H1. So I'll leave that off for now. So the HTML tag is the most basic tag, and it is the root top-level element in any given HTML document. All other elements must descend from this element. And it can have one permitted head element followed by one body element. So we have a head element here, and we have a body element. The HTML head element contains metadata about the document, so things you might want to share with Google or Twitter or Facebook, as well as things like its title, the scripts, and the style sheets. So let's go ahead and throw a title in here real quick. Say this is my first title. Now back to our sheet here. And you can see up here in the very top left, it says this is my first title. So that is where the title goes. And then if we look here, so again, if you two-click Control-Shift-I, that'll get you to the console here. Alternatively, if you're in Chrome, you can go to the More Tools, Developer Tools. You should familiarize yourself with these, as they will be very useful as you begin this journey. So you can see we have the head here. Here's my comment. And then we have the title. And then we have a body. And the body represents the content of the HTML document. This is what's going to be shown on the page. There can only be one document, body element in the document. And this is all we have right now. So it looks a little big right now because I have zoomed in, but this is the normal size. And then I've zoomed in so you guys can see this a little bit easier. So that's it for this particular first episode. This is the very basics. We're going to go ahead and explore so you can learn to become a developer on your own. And we'll go ahead and dive a little bit more into HTML, a lot of the different tags that we can do. We'll explore not all of them, but a lot of them. We will go ahead and be exploring CSS and design. We'll go ahead and look a little bit into JavaScript and some interactivity. And then we may look at some ancillary technologies such as Git, and we'll explain that later, as well as VS Code. We may look at some specific extensions that I suggest. And yeah, so this is a series for beginners, and I really appreciate you coming out. Like and subscribe. Thank you.